What's up, brothers and sisters? It's your brother G World 7_D here at Wolf Lake. Just chilling, man. Just chilling. Chilling out here on a nice Monday on Juneteenth. Just chilling. And doing some reading like a brother should do. Constantly feed my mind. Feed my mind, and knowledge will continue to grow. And just out here chilling. And I want brothers and sisters to continue to do their research like I always say. Do your research. First of all, get out here and relax in this nice weather, because it's summer. Well, it's almost summer. Summer originally starts, 5 o'clock today, whatever. So, but the 21st is tomorrow, so get into it. Like, enjoy the nice weather, man. Your ancestors lived this on a day-to-day basis. They built those great civilizations in a warm weather climates, man. Where they're the children of the sun, where the sun burns in their skin gets darker. If they weren't dark skinned or they didn't have heavy melanin, they would not have survived in that heat. You gotta understand that. That's simple, man. So anyone tells you that them people weren't so-called black people, they're lying to you. But out here chilling, man. It's very beautiful setting here. I'm out here in Northwest Indiana today. Here in Hammond. I may go over to East Chicago. I ain't gonna go to Gary. I may go there another day. No. East Chicago's in Indiana, by the way. But yeah, it's chilling, man. Enjoying this nice weather. So I'll do a little quick YouTube video. Look up at the sky. It's clear. Well, it's clear skies. But I want to sit here real quick and talk about, like I mentioned, that when you look at a lot of these monuments, you gotta look at a lot of them have been destroyed, like those Roman statues I talked about before. You can tell a lot of those are fake because you can see no age, no weathering to them, no chipping of the paint. It looks too perfect. So when those Roman statues at these museums, they parade around the world, supposedly showing Julius Caesar and all that, they're fake. Those marble statues are fake. And unfortunately, you get these lying bastards in these museums, man, these historians, they continue to lie, constantly lie. But you can just look at that and tell that stuff is fake. When you look at like a real Greek statue, when you see the Aboriginal black Greeks, you can tell the weathering or the age of it, because it looks old. It looks old. But, this is why it's so important for us to study our history, man, and to grasp it, and to gain all this knowledge. Listen to some of them clowns on here on YouTube, man, saying that all black people came from West Africa. It's just silly. Because when you study the Atlantic Ocean, the Atlantic was known to be a very tumultuous ocean to travel. And to have that type of weight, you didn't have a motor, you just go on and sail. A lot of those boats were kind of probably flipped over or sunk. If you carry those type of slaves, that what they're talking about. A lot of stuff doesn't make no sense. I'm not saying slaves didn't come over here, but the way we're saying it, it's a lie. I study ocean patterns, ocean currents, too. And I'm telling you right now, our people sailed over here in various different ships, and it had nothing to do with no damn slavery. So you really gotta study to the detail, to the max, when you study history. Studying ancient civilization is very important, but as a people, we need to grow. So just sitting there and talking about slavery, and just try to make your history out just being just slavery is very destructive. That's purposely done, man, to keep us enslaved in the mind. So don't buy into that. Like I said, I'm sitting out here in the sun, and naturally, I'm a brown-skinned brother. You're just gonna get darker anyway by being in the sun. And that's natural, so you could not be a pale skin being indigenous to a warm weather climate, especially when you study the history of America. You look at a lot of black people in ancient Florida, they were jet black. A lot of them were in that region where the sun rays would penetrate even stronger. in the South, in the deep South. You see a lot of brothers in Houston and Dallas, whatever. They're in that deep South, where the sun and the UV rays will penetrate you even stronger and greater. So like I said, they have to have been heavily melanated in order to survive wearing light color clothing, or no clothing, or very little clothing. So when you listen to these stupid ass Pan-Africans, man, they not have not done no real research or no real evaluation of history. They just run out the mouth and just boast and brag about their positions where they got at work or their so-called degrees, which is basically nothing but a piece of paper. But I'm not knocking. You want to do that. I have degrees, but I'm just letting you know that they're not teaching you nothing. They're not teaching anything. So you basically got to do this research on your own, or like I said, in the study groups, like I always say. Continue to learn and grow. You mentioned the term, real knowledge is power. You get these clowns talking about knowledge is power, but their knowledge is not power. Their knowledge is to remain a slave in the mind. Real knowledge is power. Doing the research on your own, man. Learning and growing and do that damn research on your own. And that'd be very beautiful for you to do. Sitting out here, I did my workout earlier, and I'm sitting out here doing some reading. I'll be out here for a couple hours. So I'll just post a video for YouTube. This is a very good video, just a very good setting to be in. I'm going to do some more videos out here in Northwest Indiana, more the far south side, the south suburbs of Chicago, Illinois, in the county of Cook. I think this is, what county is in Indiana? Lake? This might be Lake County in Indiana. But then in Chicago is Cook County. Then I'm not far from Will County, which is like going farther in the southern suburbs out to like University Park. That's in Will County. And Joliet's in Will County. So I'm not far from there. So, but like I was just saying, you gotta know how to study things, man. And I continue to learn and grow each year, each time. But you gotta learn how to study for certain things, look for certain things when you do your research. All right, look for the most minuscule, minute things you can pick up on there. Like I was mentioning about Cherokee, Omogeechee. You can listen to a lot of the Indian and the words. They sound very similar because they were the same damn people. I believe some of them people were part of the so-called there was no such tribe as the Cherokee. They're basically a confederation of various different tribes. But I believe a lot of those groups, those black groups, the so-called Geechee, was a part of those very different tribes, man. But they weren't from Africa. They were from here. Most of us were here. And it's sad that when you bring this up, they tell you about some Negroes came from Angola, which makes no sense. There's no proof of that. But it is what it is, man. Unfortunately, the ignorance that is going around in our community, man, it's high-level ignorance, man. So when you don't do no serious research, you just run your mouth. You're chasing a fictional tail that's not there behind your butt, or on your back. Chasing a fictional tail that's not there. So I'm just trying to have you, brothers and sisters, realize that, man, your true history, you are indigenous to this world, but your true history is here, man. Really strong history is here in America. So you don't need to go running over no pyramids over in Keisha. You have the great mounds over at Cahokia in Illinois, man, in southern Illinois, near East St. Louis, Illinois, and St. Louis, Missouri. You have all that stuff here. You have all these great mounds in the Midwest and the Southeast and the Northeast. You have these great building structures here. You don't need to go outside. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but I'm just letting you know that. We have great civilizations all over this planet. But particularly in America, because it's been totally ignored in so many instances, even by your own so-called black scholars who are too busy digging up over in Nubia, Africa. They're not worried about what's going on, what's great over here. It's sad, man. It's really sad. You know, they tell us everything reverse. We're told that, quote, the Native Americans adopted black people in their tribe. No, that's a damn lie. It was the Aboriginal blacks who adopted the Mongoloids in their tribe. Actually showed them how to farm, how to settle the lands in America. They showed them that, man. But we sit there and listen to these goofballs, man, who continue to regurgitate lies. And unfortunately, man, you know, that's being taught to our kids in school. The educational system has failed black people, man. Aboriginal people in this land. It's really failed us, man. And we got to really come to grips that if we're going to look at education as somewhat as helping us get out our condition, we can't do it by what we're doing, thinking that just going to schools for 12 years, starting with kindergarten and all the way through, 8th grade. Some schools, I guess, go to 6th, and then there's junior high, 7th and 8th, but K through 8. And then 4 years, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior in high school, then going to college. So, man, you're not given a sufficient good education. In fact, it's just flat out a racist education. It's to teach you to be subservient to your oppressor. It's not teaching you to be, what I can say, free, but independent mentally. You're being trained to be a slave. That's why this whole slave narrative is purposely taught to you, for you to think of yourself as being inferior. First of all, you're taught that you came over here by boat. You didn't have the intellectual wherewithal to sail over here yourself, because the so-called scholars will try to argue that down, even though they're lying up now. You're taught that you came over here in ships, and that doesn't make any sense. When you have so many monuments showing you that the Olmecchi, the so-called Mayan, the Aztecs, the Toltecs, the Mixtecs, all the, from ancient Antioch, which is Mexico, which was once New Spain, all that was originally all black. The people there now are nothing but a mixture of very different groups. They're not indigenous to the land. They look nothing like the indigenous people. Indigenous people were heavily melanated. All right. But unfortunately, we continue to listen to scholars who have bamboozled us from knowing our true history and who we truly are. And that's why I present on this channel. I try to get snippets from certain passages from books. Or I take something from certain books and then I read that and give you an idea. I disseminate that information so you can get that idea, you can pick up that idea, and then you can go and try to thirst and seek that knowledge on your own. I know you're thirsting for the knowledge, so you can go seek it on your own. So this is why I take it with passion, man. Because it's really sad out here. A lot of our people are so lost of who we are. I tell people, don't let nobody tell you that you come from thousands of miles away, that you are descendant of African slaves. Anyone tells you that, they're a damn enemy to you. All right, they're a goddamn enemy. And they're not doing, they're just basically trying to keep you in mental slavery, man. And that's definitely not cool. And you just gotta basically start doing some heavy thinking. Can't no pale person be indigenous to warm weather climate. It will not heavy, highly warm weather climate. They could not survive. Their skin cannot take the UV rays of the sun, man. They would deteriorate. It's genetically impossible for them just to survive. And then, so that right there will tell you that's a lie. So, man, Carly, get his muffin fixed. But that right there will tell you that's a lie. But we got to basically start using also common sense and to evaluating our true history and our true culture, and really fully come to grips to who we are. Just don't be afraid of studying who we truly are. Again, when you study stuff, it's not all gonna be good because some of our people sold us out, man. So that's really a negative aspect of that. But I'm telling you, your history's right in front of your face. Like I said, some of the stuff you're gonna have to really dig for it more, but a large number of it just in your face, man. Just in your face. You just, man, basically use common sense to evaluate a lot of things. Common sense to realize that, the original peoples here in America were short, diminutive black people, man. Short, diminutive, statured Negroes, man, who original people here. Your little dwarfy, so-called leprechaun type Negroes were originally people here. And then your taller black people came over here. You know, those short dwarfy black people built structures all over the world, globally. So they weren't inferior or an ignorant group of people. They were an advanced group of people at one time, man. And so, let you know that we build great civilizations globally. And some of our people weren't, you could say, warlike, which might have been their downfall, but some of our people were more warlike. But it's something that we really got to study from our mistakes in the past, but learn our past, study the mistakes, and grow for the future. It's because we cannot continue believing the lie that we came from African slaves. That is a lie. Most of our people are already here. I just don't understand that. And you listen to these Pan-Africans, man, they totally ignore the blacks of Asia Pacific and in Australia. But it's this force of telling black Americans that we're quote African, but we're not. And I don't, those are like cousins to some degree, because many of them are actually from here. And then when these black empires are falling down here, some of them escaped and went to other places. But we are indigenous to this land. And once you start taking pride in that ownership of your land here in Americas, man, that will instill even more great pride in who you are, which you can probably start from there and continue to grow when you do your research. Because when you start thinking you're from Africa, you do this like that land of return crap, man. That's a money grab. Take your damn money. But you already home. You turn into what? You're already home here in Americas. And so you have to understand that. You have to understand that. Do your research, you have to go and understand that we're already home. This is our home. America is our home. Don't want to tell you that you're foreign in your own land. That's why I can't stand people like Angel Ramirez Jordan, because he's from the Americas, but he's not of Aboriginal American descent. He's Jamaican, Puerto Rican, which he's still a black man, but his people are not indigenous to this mainland here. And he's telling you that you come from Africa, and then he's making mockery out of Aboriginal blacks in America. And that idiot has not done no real research, man. That buffoon idiot has not done no real research. Or that From Nothing clown, or that Home Team History dude, or that New Possibilities dude, or that the guy who's Haitian, that idiot who loves to troll black Americans all the time. I forget the name of. Who does Crack Pipe, whatever his name, I forget that goofball name, man. These idiots have not done real research, man. You listen to goofballs like Umar Johnson, the Pan-Africans, man, all them clowns, man. All them clowns. They don't know what the hell they talking about, man. You listen to them, you can tell. You read some books by Dr. Ben, by Dr. John Herbert Clark, read their books, and feel that they're the wear-all, know-all, and that's the only information they need to see. I used to get ridiculed by them Negroes, man, attacked because I used some books written by white scholars, not to say white people know more thing, but they don't, but I used to try to seek out as much information I can. When you do this research, and them idiots used to get pissed off, mad at me, man. But but who cares, man? I don't listen to none of them dudes. Like I said, I don't listen to Umar, I don't listen to Sarah Super City, I don't listen to none of them cats, man. Because they're not saying nothing. They're in that Pan-African kick, man. That stuff does not help our people out. It's foolishness, man. Not to say that we should not have no relationship with people in other lands, but we have to understand that you don't need to feel like we are lost wild animals, because we're not lost at all. We are home. This is our home. We're aboriginal to this land. We're indigenous to this land. This is our home. You brothers and sisters, you got to remember that and know that. You cannot allow other people to dictate, tell them, and allow them to tell you who you really are. You should study and know who you are. All right? And that's the main thing. And these fools will go by that DNA stuff and tell you, well, no Native American tribe claimed you. I don't want to be. Why would you want to be claimed by a bunch of Mongoloids who basically came over here and stole your culture and your identity, and was giving your culture and identity? Why would you want to identify with them? That's stupid as hell, man. You try to stay the hell away from that. But they're so ignorant, man. It's really mind-boggling to some degree, because some of these fools will have these fools and these Mongoloids on their programs, on their pages, on their spaces, insulting our people, using racial epithets to our people, and they sit up there and allow them to give them that platform, man. That's a traitor. That's a damn traitor, man. And anyone who continues to say that we're just descendants of slaves and going with that narrative, they're enemies and they're traitors, and need to shut the hell up, and you need to distance yourself from them. You need to really distance yourself from them, because they're misinforming you, and they're misinforming our people. And you got a lot of those idiots. They'll Google something up, talk about was it Senegal, the return of, well, I forget what they call that place, the return of nowhere to return, where the dungeon was at, there's no proof of no damn black people here in America came from that place, man. So, but it's really sad, and this is why we need to get in study groups. We need to do the research. We need to put in the time and effort in really studying this material, man, because this is our information. It's there for us to reclaim, to take, and to bring back into our bosoms, man, or in our chest, the bosoms of a woman. But you get what I'm saying? We need to reclaim everything of ours, particularly in America's. All right, we need to claim it ours, man. You had various type of Negro blacks that came over here, man. You had the Vikings, who originally were black, who sailed here to the Americas, man. Probably to Canada and to the northern part of the United States. I believe in the Northeast. That I know proof of the Vikings were there. I'm gonna talk about them a little more too. But the black Vikings sailed over here, and who else sailed over here? Obviously the so-called Egyptians, who I believe Egypt originated over here, but I wouldn't even get in debate on that. But you had multiple Egypts, though. You just didn't have no Egypt over in Northeast Africa. You had the Egypt over here. But unfortunately, you talk to Pan-Africans, man, they just claim you're stealing someone else's history, but that's your history. They're extremely ignorant, man. They don't understand the navigational capabilities of our brothers and sisters to sail throughout the seas, man, to sail the Pacific, which is the calm ocean, and the Atlantic, which is the tumultuous ocean. But they was able to sail across the seas, man, back and forth. They charted the seas. Like I always said, at nighttime they studied the stars, the alignment of the stars, and during the day they viewed the rays of the sun. And they would just sail around the world. So give yourself some credit, give your people some credit. How people did it, man. And unfortunately, some other people cannot fathom it because they have been so indoctrinated to hate themselves and believe they just came here in the bottom of a damn ship. Sad. But you're going to continue to have this ignorance, man. And some of these Negroes are so ignorant, they so confident. This little lie that they've been spewing out constantly talking about the Africans are being brought over here slaves, and black people just over here slaves. And they so confident, man. And some of these niggas, you listen to some of these niggas, you just laugh. Because I just realized, I know how stupid they really are. I just laugh at their dumb asses, man. They so confident in that lie. That's why I can't stand that old red-haired woman with that 1619. That's not historically accurate. That's a lie. That's a lie. You know, and unfortunately, man, yeah, you have black Europeans come over here before some damn 1619, but that dumb ass throw that stuff out, man. That is one ignorant woman who's backed by the New York Times, which is a racist newspaper, which has been historically racist towards black people. But I digress. He said I'm out here chilling. So I put up this post, this video, out here. Like I said, I'm out here chilling, just reading. And I don't know, just out here, just relaxing. I may come out here tomorrow, man. It's gonna be warm tomorrow. Shit, nothing chilling, man. Nothing relaxing, stacking here, nice sun in Hammond, Indiana, man. Northwest Indiana, which covers the Chicagoland area, where they part of the Chicago media market, which they get 2, 5, 7, 9, 13, 20, 23, 26, 32, 38, 44, 50, 56, 60, 62, 66. Yeah, they cover the Chicago media market. So, yeah. Yeah, well, I'm going to finish this video up. And I may do another one tonight. Or I may do one between tomorrow and Friday. I'll check another video on tomorrow, Saturday. Yeah, maybe Saturday better. May do another video. I may do it tonight, though. It depends. Alright, then. Peace and love, brothers and sisters. Brothers, you were chilling. I ain't starting, man.